All right, y'all, let's get into the stars in the sky and the lights inside of us, man, aliens, sons of God, sons of man, and tie things together for us, okay? So we see the Son of God being created in Genesis 1. And then we see the Son of Man, Adam, being created in Genesis 2. All right? And when we're going back to end times, we're looking for the return of that Son of Man. We're looking for the return of the Christ. And we're looking for the return of the second coming of the Lord. So, that's where all these things are upon us right now. And everybody's looking for something that is not going to happen. The light, the DNA, the green light in our world that connects to our DNA, the stars in the sky, they rotate in a yearly circle, and we have planets, so-called wandering stars, that come in orbit here and there, okay? So as these planets come in, and as the sun's here, moon's here, these are for time and seasons and all this, and to show us these things that are coming, okay? So as these stars like Pluto is coming in, it's coming in and changing a light angle. That's a light angel. So as the light angle on the sky, we're all connected to these things, these lights, okay, in the sky. This is where the astrology kind of comes in. So depending on your name and the number you were born on, and where you were born, what time you were born, what stars were twinkling, what stars were not, all this kinds of stuff, okay? That all depends on what lights you're connected to in the sky. And everybody's different. Okay, but everybody's the same. But it's just how, and then we come from those lights, and we're condensed beams of all these lights, and it all comes from the sun. That's the original projection. And then we can see the moon is a different type of light. It's a cool light. Sun's a warm light. One takes away water, one gives water. So there's different things going on, but they work together, just like Jesus and Satan work together to form this world. You got to have you got to have the yin and yang. However, there's a problem when the yin and yang gets to that pinnacle. When man is all under stress and everything's too expensive, there's no whatever, everything's having to pay. You got to pay $10 to go walk at the field, or however the corruption is. Everything is corrupt today, okay? And it's all for the mighty dollar. Now, all this is getting to a point, and that's why we have the petrodollar being done, and the bricks being set up for the new heaven and earth, and all those little things, okay? So that's a whole nother rabbit trail. Go and listen to the other videos. So as Jesus works through men, he is the is to come. Satan is the is not the past. There's the past, the present, and the future, okay? And the present is the serpent. And the past keeps you in bondage, keeps you in the grievous sin of Sodom and Gomorrah. Oh, I got all these problems. I did all this wrong in my life. I did this, blah, blah, blah. Shouldn't have said that, and all these things. No, everything plays out just the way it's supposed to play out. There are times it plays out the way it plays out, but we also live in a dual reality, because what happens if you can either speak or not speak. And depending what river you're on, speaking may help, not speaking may help. So this is where you have to learn what animal you're dealing with, as far as this is what the Indians, like you you have an animal spirit, but you got to find out what animal you're dealing with or what fish you're dealing with, so you know how to either catch them or back up from them or whatever. Okay. And we can watch nature. We can watch the beast system, and weather and all these things, and put it together in a sense, and to know what's coming in man. And as everything's being connected and we're getting to that one point where everything came from, that's how we can see that the weather's tracking and whatever. And once we understand that man is the living God and we're going into a new heaven and a new earth, and how we had like 4 clouds in the 80s and now we have like 25 clouds or whatever, that's how you can see, because man, the government, Jesus, is operating through men to bring in a new heaven and earth. And that's where you have like them trying to bring the overcast everywhere and all those types of things. And we are liquid metal machines, and we have metal in our bodies like iron, so they might be taking us into a time where they're putting graphene in our body to where, and that's what this thing could have done. And those who make it through will be the start of the graphene blood people, or however it's going to go. But either way, we can see how man is being altered slowly, and it has to be done slowly to get all these metals and get our bodies electrified and however else. Okay? So while some heavy metals might be bad, some heavy metals might be good, or however it's going. Okay? But there's a test of men, and there's the brainwashing, the TV that's put out there, but they do give source of light. Okay? And they do drop the truth bombs. So as Hollywood and the government and the people of knowledge control the sheep and control the world, they know the stars and the timing and all these things, and they have it preset, because they know the human being is in a state of change with a light change and the end time clock, and they have to be kind of controlled. Okay? And this is where the human beings probably are like maybe wanting to move or wanting to, that's where the Exodus comes in. They know that people need to migrate or whatever, so they're setting up the world stage to where it puts it in people's hearts to where it follows in with the stars and the lights in the sky. There's nothing new under the sun. This has been done before. Okay? Just go back and read in history. Happens every whatever. We're getting to it's getting closer and closer to that one time where all things that are written are fulfilled. And that's just not in that textbook called the Bible. It's also in the all the books that men read. This is where people who've developed a gift that I have, where I can read a children's story or a sci-fi story or the menu at whatever restaurant, okay, and it all connects to different things that's built on this pyramid structure, okay. And as the veil's lifting, and as I use the talents I've been given, and as I continue, blah blah blah, the veil continues to lift, and I continue to get to that pinnacle. That's where you just got to follow, because just got to follow and listen, because I keep y'all updated and how things are twisting and turning and whatever. So either way, so as the light's changing in the sky, as the projection, that reel is changing, and we're going to get a new reel, and it's possible we may get the physical projection of the sky, that curtain pulled back to where the mothership is revealed. And this might happen like every 2,000 years or every 26,000 years or whatever, right? Either way, that's like the most extreme form, all right, that curtain open up and the mothership revealed and those types of things, right? Otherwise, we could see this being done with CGI, because this is part of the AI, is part of the return of Christ, gathering all of our supercomputers into one supercomputer. And this is where knowledge is being given or taken. And this is where we see like the light given to the male and female made after he, them in Genesis 1. And then over generations of time, Adam was formed. And he was so dumb that he made him work naked. So either way. And then we can see that came to an end when Eve decided to take from the tree. And then she said, nope, I'm naked. I'm going to leave this and I'm going to dress, or I'm going to get dressed and then I'm going to leave. So the leaf for the leave. Then a new time started. So we can see these things told to us. It's just taught to us with blinders on. And it's a new test of men, the testament for the money, but also the test of men. And we're coming to that point where you have the second coming of the Lord all before you. Adonia, that means the Lord. And during Christmas, he said rotten hell and all these other things. So we see the dark dawn giving birth to hell on earth and different things. But so this Lord God who brings Eden, who brings the cities, and when you rise up above the cities, it looks like a computer board or whatever. So there's technology behind God. Because that's when you rise up, you can kind of rise up to the fourth dimension, in a matter of speaking, and see what the third dimension looks like. And it looks like a motherboard. So that motherboard can tie into that mothership and those types of things. Mothership, disk over everything, alien invasion or whatever. I expect some sort of thing like that. That's why Trump came with a Space Force. They got to use the Space Force. Oh man, that's a whole nother one. So as Jesus is coming, he's working through men, he's working through government, and there's a test of men, there's a test of the Baal worship, all these different levels of things, okay? And if you believe the world, you believe the lie, the religions, the Christianity, the Judeo nation, of the Christians seeking salvation and such, they are part of that world lie. And it's part of that lie to control men. And they gave you Jesus as a source of truth. They just took Jesus and transformed him as that test of men. So the government has had the Bible, has had the government and the churches and local whatever to control men. And we don't need that anymore, as Christ is gathering into one body with the AI and the computers, because we are liquid metal machines. We are ran on positive, negative, neutral light. This light is connected to the light in the world. This light is connected to that we plug into this world with our hands, our feet, our mouth, ears, whatever, senses. And the light of God, the light of the sun, gives us life. It flows through our mother's eyes and down to the womb, and we are formed from that first moment, the sperm and egg meet. And from that point, that light is so magnetic, it draws the world to it, and it forms a body. And as it forms a body and it gets ready to meet this world, it comes out. It's in that purest form of light as a child. And then as it grows up, we corrupt it. And how I reform. And there's many things that are wrong. And this is where Jesus was saying, don't withhold heaven from them. You're making them go to school. You're making them sit down for 8-10 hours a day or whatever. They get 30 minutes of play. They get 30 minutes of shit food provided by the city